Hi class, today we're going to be comparing fractions using common denominators. This is found in Swun 4-6 and 4-7. Our learning goal or objective is today I will compare fractions using common denominators. We have I'll go over that numerator and denominator, but denominator is down, the one that's on the bottom. Vocabulary, our first one is multiplication property of 1. The product, I need to get a new green, sorry. The product of any number multiplied by 1 is that number. This property is also known as the multiplicative identity property. Okay, and we have our comparison symbol. We have greater than. Remember, the open mouth eats the bigger number. Then we have less than. And then we have equal to. 1 whole looks like 1, or it can equal to any number on top of that same number. And I represented that with A's. Or it could be 3 over 3, 5 over 5, 6 over 6. Any number as long as the numerator and denominator are the same. And again, we're going to be referencing these terms, numerator and denominator, for a long time in 4th grade and in 5th and all your years following that. So numerator is the one that's on top. So if I have 5, 6, my numerator is 5, denominator is 6. Remember, denominator, the one that is down. They both start with D's, down. So denominator down, that's the one on the bottom. That helps me remember. Our first step is to write the first fraction being compared. Then step 2 is multiply by 1 using the denominator of the second fraction. Step 3 is write the second fraction being compared and multiply by 1 using the denominator of the first fraction being compared. Step 4 is replace the original fractions being compared with fractions with common denominators. And then finally, compare. I'm getting out my red pen, so you're going to stop, you're going to watch. I have my steps out. I apologize, I need to get my input model out. So I have my problem. Here's my problem. It's a comparing problem, so I'm going to have to put that greater than, less than, equal to sign in the box. First step is write the first fraction being compared. 3/5 is my first one. Now I'm going to multiply by 1 using the denominator of the second fraction. So I look here, my denominator of the opposite one is 3, so I multiply by 3 over 3. Which equals to 9/15. Now write the second fraction being compared. So I'm going to write 1/3. And I'm going to multiply that by 1 using the denominator of the first fraction being compared. So now I need to look here, and I have a 5. So times 5 over 5 is to 5/15. Okay, now I need to replace the original fractions being compared with the fractions with the common denominators and then compare. So I'm going to rewrite it. 9/15. And I need to make sure I'm putting it in the same spots. And then 5/15. Which number is bigger? And I just look at the numerators now. and I'm comparing. The 9 is bigger, so this one, the open sign, eats the bigger number. So 3/5 is greater than 1/3. Okay, I have a second problem I'm going to show you. So I'm going to write the first fraction being compared, 3/8. Now I'm going to multiply by 1 using the denominator of the second fraction. So I look at the second fraction, the denominator is 4, so times 4/4. Okay, now I'm going to write the second fraction being compared and multiply by 1 using the denominator of the first fraction. Okay, so I have 3/4 as my second fraction. I look at the denominator of the first fraction. I don't know if I just said, I think I said 3/4 was my first fraction. 3/4 is my second fraction, and I'm going to multiply it by 8, the denominator of the first fraction. And I get 24/32. And now you notice that they have the same denominator. So I'm going to do the next step, which says replace the original fractions being compared with the fractions with common denominators. So I'm going to replace it with these two fractions. So I'm going to have 12/32 with my box and 24/32. Now I just compare the numerators, which one's bigger. My 24 is bigger, so 24/32 or 3/4 is greater than 3/8. Okay, I'm getting out my green pen, so you're getting your pencil out. We're doing these steps together, so I'm going to write the first fraction being compared, so 5/8. Now I'm going to multiply that by 1 using the denominator of the second fraction. So the denominator of the second fraction is 10/10. So I get 50/80. And now I need to write the second fraction and then multiply it by the first denominator. So I have 3/10 times 8/8, which gets me 24/80. And now I just need to replace the original fractions with the ones of the common denominators and compare. So 50/80 and 24/80. 50 is clearly greater than 24, so 5/8 is greater than 3/10. Okay, we're going to do our second problem. So I'm going to write the first fraction being compared, so I have 1/2. Now I need to multiply by 1 using the denominator of the second fraction, so 3 is the denominator of the second fraction, so times 3/3, which gets me 3/6. And then I need to write the second fraction and multiply it by the first denominator, so I have 2/3 times by 2/2, which gets me 4/6. And now I need to replace the original fractions being compared with fractions with common denominators. So 3/6 and 4/6. 4/6 is greater than 3/6. So I have my open sign eating 2/3. Okay, you have 1, 2 homework problems, and then rate your understanding.